Unraveling Threads, the art of seam ripping. Hello, language enthusiasts. Today, we're going to unravel the meaning of the phrase seam ripping. Whether you're into sewing or just love expanding your English vocabulary, this video will stitch together all you need to know about this particular term. So, grab your thread and needle, and let's get started. Seam ripping refers to the process of removing stitches from a piece of fabric. It's a common term in sewing when you need to take apart pieces that have been sewn together, often because of a mistake, or if you're altering the size of a garment. A seam ripper is a small tool used for this purpose, and mastering its use is a fundamental skill for any tailor or dressmaker. In this section, we dive into the tool that makes seam ripping possible, the seam ripper. This handy tool has a pointed end and a sharp blade, perfect for sliding under stitches and cutting them without damaging the fabric. We'll explore how to use it effectively and safely to ensure your sewing projects turn out just the way you want them to. There are several scenarios where seam ripping is necessary. Correcting mistakes. Perhaps the most common reason, you'll need to rip a seam if there's a sewing error. Alterations. Whether you're taking in a dress or letting out a pair of pants, seam ripping is part of the process. Repurposing fabric. If you're giving new life to old garments, you'll start by taking them apart. Crafting and upcycling. Seam ripping is also essential in many crafting projects that use fabric. Here are some tips and tricks for a seamless experience. Take your time. Rushing can cause fabric damage. Work in good light, to see what you're doing and avoid mistakes. Use sharp tools. A dull seam ripper can be ineffective and dangerous. Thank you for joining me in this detailed look at seam ripping. Remember, like any skill, it takes practice to become proficient at seam ripping. So, don't get discouraged if you don't get it right the first time. Keep practicing, and soon you'll be ripping seams like a pro. Until our next lesson, happy learning, and happy sewing!